Hi everybody, DDK here once again, and I'm going to add another video to my QuakeWorld guide series, and this one will be about how to play dm3 in Control. So, as we talked about previously in the implied frags video, we understood that the way you get frags, when you win games, the way you consistently gain frags is by holding control. It's not by getting a rocket launcher and going crazy and trying to get frags in the short term. It's about playing for the long term and playing a positional game with good team play. So, if we, you will have heard this a few times now if you've seen all the videos, but the first place you need to get a rocket launcher, because remember, QuakeWorld is a very crazy and dynamic game, so getting a rocket launcher to, and then getting the rocket launcher to ring and getting the red can happen. Like, there's no real set way that can happen. There's so many different things can happen. So the best way to look at it is, this is what I'm trying to achieve. So if you pick up a rocket launcher, if you pick up a pack or whatever, and you manage to work your way over here safely and actually get yourself onto a red with maybe the help of your team or maybe by yourself, then you can go, okay, now this job is covered. So and this guy standing at ring is absolutely crucial. Again, this was stressed in previous videos. He can basically shut down this half of the map to spawners. So he can kill anyone out of tele exit, he can control the hill. Maybe if someone's trying to sneak through hill to red, he'll be able to see, he'll be able to hear, and he'll be able to shoot down on them and get a lot of damage. He'll be able to cover the list spawn as well, and he'll be able to peek in periodically to make sure that anyone who spawns at this tele is not going to be sneaking in and trying to grab this red from under everyone's noses. So this guy is going to have this area of the map shut down, and the reason why it's so important to have this area guarded at all times is because your team wants every single red armor, and if your team gets every single red armor, your boomstick teammates are going to be really strong with that red, and to attack. If they attack the shaft, they're going to have a great situation where they're going to win all these boomstick fights. They're actually going to get the weapon pads and maybe even get it back out all the way to hill, which was guarded by your lovely ring guy, and they're going to get into red and be able to get a red. So that's a really good situation. I mean, if they go to the rocket box, it's a similar story. So, and that's the other thing, right, is that not only do they get the increased chance of getting the weapon because they have more armor, the other thing is that with your rocket, you're guarding hill, right? So hill is safe. So this is a difference. This is a fundamental difference that's important, because basically, if you do get a weapon, and you know red is safe, you don't know yellow, it's like bang, I'm going to go straight to hill, straight to red, and now I have my rocket launcher. I managed to barely survive. I had the covering fire from the teammate at ring, and now I'm going to have myself a red, and then you have two teammates with reds. So basically, controlling this position with this rocket launcher is super important, and that's the first place you're going to want your rocket launcher to be. And again, I can't stress it enough, you never really want him to leave this area unless he is relieved by someone else to do this job for him. This position is kind of like reminiscent of the tele guy. It's a position where it doesn't require a huge amount of skill and decision making. It just requires good execution, but it's essential. So when you do get the situation where you get a second rocket launcher, the place you want to send the second rocket launcher is to basically keep yellow safe. And this position is much harder to play because you have a lot more decisions you can go with, and like you can play it if you get worried about maybe the damage you're taking, or you don't have enough information about what's actually going on in the weapons room. You can stand here with this brilliant position with your rocket launcher, and you can see the rocket splash is going to basically cover this entire area. So and you can push them out with it. So that's a great position to be in. You obviously want to be timing these yellows, because people can spawn here, and if they back left, they can quickly take this out under your nose, and that's not what you want to happen. So you can get a little bit greedier. One thing people do is, again, if they're timing this yellow, they can basically, when there's like 6-7 seconds left to yellow, they can then come out from this position, poke out a bit, because they're max on yellow still. You can take some damage from the boomstickers, and you can fall back, and you can clear this out if you time it right and get the yellow. So if there's any spawners who are hiding there, it's no problem at all, because you know exactly when it spawns. And that's again the risk here, is that if your team is in control, their entire team is most likely going to be in this room. So if you stand out on these open areas, you're going to take a huge amount of boomstick damage. And if you've only got a yellow armor, then you have to be very conservative and try not to lose it, and that's very difficult if you are in this very open area. But again, you can push out to this area. If you're keeping your times on the yellows, then that's pretty strong. You can help your teammates get weapons and try and just like kill other enemy weapons. But again, you want to be keeping this position, and it's paramount to do that. And if you're not comfortable with pushing out, then you can always just just stand at this position here, timing your yellows, and you're golden. So if we get into a situation where, because you're holding this yellow area, and because of the reds and stuff, increasing the chance that your teammates get these weapons, I mean, this guy, maybe he doesn't want to go through to hill because there's enemy boomstickers there, so he's going to try and wall hug his way up here, and he's low. This is just a mock situation. And then he'll be able to come into this yellow area and get the yellow guaranteed because it's safe. I mean, you're opening up these options for your boomstickers who are pressuring the weapons area, and that's basically your job. And obviously the more weapons you have, the more control you can exert. So if we move on now to what you would do with the third rocket launcher, and I'll talk about lightning guns in a minute, what you will want to notice is that the only area that's not covered, we've got all the armors covered, we've got the high positions covered. The only area that's not really covered is this window area, and this window area also gives the guy, so if you send the third guy around here, it also gives them eyes and ears on the pen, so you know if anyone's going lifts and stuff like that, you can keep tabs on that. So that's really important information, because if you hear lifts, then this guy, you tell this guy who's on ring, and he'll basically know to look there and stop anyone who's trying to go lifts. The third guy, I mean, he doesn't have to be here because this isn't the most important position in the world, but it is something, he is somewhat of a player who plays in between the first and second guy, so the ring guy and the yellow guy. So if the ring guy is having some problems, he can shout for help, and this guy can come to help him. If the yellow guy needs some help, you can go to yellow and help him. It's kind of a flexible position, and it's a position where basically like before we spoke about how it can be risky in the how should I put it, in favor of getting this yellow control, it can be risky for you to move out onto this bridge because you can lose a lot of armor, and often we don't want to do that because then you can lose control on yellow if you get too low, and you can get flooded down and stuff like that. But if you all of a sudden, if you have this third guy who's at window, he can actually pressure this room quite safely, and you can still keep yellow out, completely safe. So that's a great position to be in, because he's helping his fourth teammate getting weapons. You're also keeping the enemy weapons weak and keeping them down, and they have nowhere to go. And where can they go? Can they go to pen? Well, I guess they could, but you're going to hear them and you can shoot down on them. Can they go up to high bridge? Well, even if this guy here lets them, misses his rockets, your other guy gets them there. If they go to hill, then your guy at ring will catch them, and all of a sudden you've got a full lock going on almost, and you're going to get crazy amounts of frags and spawn frags and so on. So we don't really need to speak about the fourth rocket launcher because he's basically a super flexible version, just playing in between everyone else, trying to basically, you want to keep everyone on reds as much as possible. So the ideal thing is to basically, when you have a lot of weapons, is to switch in and out with this ring guy. The ring guy should, it's quite fine if this ring guy stays the same the entire time, if it's the same person for the entire game. But also it's quite fine also to basically cycle everyone, because you want everyone to get reds. And this ring guy, if he's doing a really good job, I think one of the best people I've seen doing ring is Murdoch. He has amazing rockets. So if you ever see Murdoch playing, look out for how he plays this position. You'll see him playing it perfectly, and he'll take no damage. So he's taking no damage. So other teammates with rockets can basically go in for this red armor, and when they're going in for this red armor, Murdoch can be or whoever's on the ring can be okay, I'm going to go to wherever that guy was previously, which could be here, or it could be yellow, or whatever. It's because his position is relieved, the red is safe, that guy's going to come back to ring, he's going to find no one there, so he's going to stay there. So that's this kind of team play coordination thing you have going on to maintain control. So let's talk about the shaft. This video is actually much longer so far than I've anticipated it would be. So let's talk about the shaft, right? With the shaft, if we think about, we know where the shaft spawns. It spawns in the water. But if we think about it, this cell pack gives you like 12 cells, and the only other cells on the entire map are 2 6-packs, one here and one there. Can I switch to shaft? Do I have weapon bind? I'm like cycling through it on my number pad thing. No. Is it weapon 9? No. Weapon 8. Oh, there we go. Oh, it has no weapon model. Right, okay. So with shaft, you have the 12 pack at red, and you have 2 6-packs here. Obviously these aren't in very nice positions, so I mean that gives you 24 cells, and when you pick up the LG I think you have like 12 or 15 or something like that. So you don't have very much cells spawning on the map, and they're not in very good places. And it takes 4 cells to kill a spawner, but you know, each cell does 30 damage, so basically what I'm trying to get at here is that rockets are a very effective means of controlling position and killing spawners. However, and there's a lot more rockets on the map, so rockets are more accessible, but the shaft is not that weapon. The shaft is not a weapon about position. It's not a weapon really about anything other than killing enemy weapons. There's not enough shaft ammo for you to be wasting cells on boomstickers unless you absolutely have to. And cell conservation, like, you know, shooting some shaft and then switching to finish off with the boomstick, shoots 3 cells, and then you know, you save that 1 cell by switching to boomstick when you're killing spawners, is an important thing to do. And you'll see a lot of good players doing that. So the goal of the shaft guy is really mostly about playing out of control. Like, that's where it's the strongest or has the most impact. Obviously shaft is always good, but its strength is killing enemy weapons because it's so much concentrated damage. So I think I'll talk about the shaft in the next video, which will be how to play out of control. But there you go. This has been dm3 in control, and I hope that I have illuminated what it looks like to build control on this map and how everything comes together as a team. So thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed it, and I'll put up the next video ASAP. Okay, see you guys in a bit.